My father started to make wine, so I'm the second generation as winemaker, but we went back to 7th generation in terms of owning vineyards. But in the past, it was the case in the Rhône Valley. People were doing different production. It was the polyculture, what we called. What was doing my father, like my grandfather and grandfather, so they were more on the fruit production. When I was a kid, I was helping my parents to sell all the fruits on the market, but my father always told me that the future for us in the village is definitely the wine. And this is something I really liked from the start, because when my father decided to bring a diversity in his production, he decided to stop selling his grape to negociants in 1983. And he started to make his first vintage. And I was 6 years old at that time. And this is a time that I remember very well, because it was like a really big change in the family. My father bought with the first barrels and everything. What's the harvest time, I still remember that, and something who just make me curious. I stayed 5 years in Burgundy, in Beaune, and I came back. I was 20 years old and I started to work with my father. The chance I have, I think, is that I arrived in a time that in 1997, vineyards of Côte-Rotie was, let's say, half of the size than now. Côte-Rotie is about 340, 350 hectares planted. It was less than 200 hectares at that time, and I had some very good opportunity to buy very, very good terroir, because I wanted to really develop the estate. For example, La Rosine, this is a wine that my father started. First vintage La Rosine was 91. So La Rosine is vineyard planted right next to the appellation of Côte-Rotie on the south part, on the village of Tupin-Semont. And so I started to plant vineyard around La Rosine, or around the original one, to develop that. And also, it was more in the year of 2007, I had the opportunity to buy vineyards in Condrieu, because we didn't make any white before in the family. And at the same time, the year after, I could take over the vineyard of Saint-Joseph, that was next to the Condrieu. So this is new appellation on the domain. When I arrived on the domain, my idea was to really go back on working the soil. If you take some other vineyards, especially on the Blonde side, where you have a lot of small terraces, there is no other solution than going by hand. So we have to adapt every year in terms of weather condition. We could see that this last couple of years we have such diversity in terms of weather. I mean, it's so different one year to another year. So we'll definitely take different decisions. And for sure, our objective is to always produce the best quality grapes, because there is no secret. It's definitely the grapes that make the difference. But in terms of winemaking, what was important for me, it was to be able to work on each individually terroir. We have a chance in Côte-Rotie to have such a diversity of terroir. For me, this is the mark of the appellation. This is what makes Côte-Rotie a bit special, is that if you jump from one hillside to another hillside, you have such a different wines. And even on the same lieu-dit, if you are at the bottom part, top part, the style of the wine can change very fast. The first year in barrel, every single vineyard are still separated, and we start to decide about blending after the first year. They have a very good impact on the Condrieu. So let's say for the Condrieu, we use quite a high percentage of new stockinger, only stockinger. That brings zero typical wood character in the wine, but that brings something a bit special. It's living up the wines. It's giving something more, I would say. I have a joke that I said with the stockinger, it's like I put a suit on my Condrieu, to make them a bit more class.